Think about your biggest goal. Why haven't you accomplished it yet? Well, if you're like most people, the answer is basic: fear. Fear can block many of your dreams from manifesting. But the good thing is that once you learn how to face fear, then it can be much easier to manage. My name is Jeff Lerner, and in my daily life as an entrepreneur, a big part of my work towards success comes from understanding what fear is, knowing how to use fear to achieve big goals, and not being crippled by it, but taking actionable steps even when it feels risky. Now, before we get started talking about fear, please do consider clicking the button to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the bell to get notified of new videos. And I also invite you to join me at EntreNation on Facebook. We are a community of entrepreneurs, coaches, mentors who work with people that are wanting to grow themselves and achieve their goals. Okay, so let's get into the video. First of all, congratulations for not running away in fear at the start of this video. Okay, so we're here to learn how to manage our fears together. Well, what if I told you that to manage them, we must face them? And by the end of this video, you will have learned 10 ways to overcome fear and take some actionable steps closer to your goals. I sincerely hope this video is a breakthrough moment for you. The psychological term for the fear of something new is called neophobia. It's extremely common, by the way. And learning how to overcome fear can be intimidating if you don't understand the mechanisms behind fear. So before you beat yourself up for feeling afraid, first of all, recognize that fear is a normal evolutionary response. And when we encounter a threat to our emotional or physical well-being, it triggers a physiological fight, flight, or freeze response that's designed for our own survival. And without this fear response, we leave ourselves wide open to danger. The problem is, if we allow the fear to take over, we can literally feel crippled from the sensory reaction of fight, flight, or freeze, which then leaves us stuck and not taking any steps towards our goals. But overcoming fear lets you actually harness the fear response. It doesn't get rid of it, it lets you harness it and use it to your advantage when you're in that fight mode. This is because adrenaline is literally pumping through your body, which gives you strength and focus to work even faster. This type of fear is physiologically similar to excitement. Now, for those of you who feel crippled or stopped by your fear, you are probably experiencing the flight response. It's literally like you want to fly away from the situation. Well, for people who feel the flight response, I suggest that you actually take a break, get up, walk away, go and breathe, go out for some air, and then come back. You can, in other words, fly, but then fly back. Come back and refocus. Then break down the task as if it's brand new. Just do one step at a time to avoid overwhelm. Okay, and let's go further into this. It's not just as simple as saying, oh, we have to recognize your excuses. For some of us, it's about taking a holistic view of our entire life. Are we getting enough sleep? Are we eating nutritious foods? Do we feel supported? Do we feel alone? Sometimes it's important to reach out to someone or even seek a counselor if you're feeling fearful every day. Now, let's go into 10 practices that you can do to support yourself along the way. Number 1, identify your fears. Learning how to overcome fear is much like any problem-solving challenge in that you must identify the challenge first in order to overcome it. What is it that you're actually afraid of? Sit quietly for a few minutes and just observe your thoughts, observe your feelings, observe your bodily sensations, and write down what comes up and be as specific as you can. You might want to consider embracing a daily mindfulness meditation practice to gain greater clarity on what drives you. And as you find your center, you'll feel more empowered to actually confront your fears. And the second step is to actually sit with your fear. Because there are times for action and there are times for reflection. And a lot of times acting too quickly to overcome our fear can lead to behaviors that do more harm than good. Like maybe we reach for a drink, maybe we indulge in comfort food, or maybe we even repress the feeling entirely. So the next time you feel fearful, try something new. Do nothing. Just sit with it and really think about it. Try to understand, what is the root cause? What is the story that you're telling yourself about why you can't overcome this fear? And this isn't to say that you shouldn't act. A moment of reflection can have a great effect on overcoming a fear that is productive, deliberate, and effective. And also, you can write down anything that comes up, or maybe pick one step that you can focus on instead of the whole picture of whatever you're afraid of. I know in business, a good practice is to write a couple things to do on a piece of paper. I call it out of the mind, onto the page. Out of the mind, onto the page. Once it's on the page, you can start to knock it out. Number 3, break down your goals. Fear often is triggered by trying to do too much. Sometimes it's not even something that you're specifically afraid of, it's just that you feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. So when creating goals, it's important to break them down. Consider these questions. What does the life that you desire and that you deserve actually look like? Is it just like a someday, maybe I will plan, or are you actively working toward it? Is it something that is attainable and that you're actually willing to commit to and do whatever it takes to achieve? The first step in overcoming fear is often identifying whether or not you've created a compelling goal. And if you accomplish this, if you accomplish the goal, will you feel fulfilled? And if you don't accomplish the goal, would you feel lost? If your goal is something that will make you feel good or improve your life, that gives you a big enough reason to help overcome the fear. Now, dig deeper into your goal. What is your ideal outcome? Is it financial growth? Maybe you just want more money in the bank. Maybe you want financial independence to travel anytime, anywhere. Consider what your life will look like if you don't achieve that outcome, and then compare it to what your life will look like if you do. Once you feel that your goal is essential, you absolutely must have it, then the fear of not trying eclipses the fear of trying and failing. That's when you'll be inspired to act. So grab a piece of paper and actually write that out. Break it down. I can't say this enough. Break down everything you do into time chunks. Take your goal and break it into small little chunks, things that you can check off a list. This will really, really help you avoid feeling overwhelmed. And be strict with your time. If you work for 1 hour, then you can go and exercise for 1 hour. If you work for 30 minutes, then you can relax for 30 minutes. Whatever it is, create a routine that helps you feel good and balanced and moving toward your goals. Number 4, recognize your excuses. Fear makes us put things off. Fear very often shows up as procrastination. You might say things like, well, I'm really tired, I have other stuff to do, or it's a dumb idea anyway. And if those excuses sound familiar, you're not alone. You've probably said those things to yourself. We kind of all have, unfortunately. If you think about it, is there any truth to those statements, or are you just making excuses to avoid potential failure? See, it is much easier and much less painful to make excuses than it is to put in the long hours and all the time and energy that it'll take to work toward our goals. But making excuses and opting out will ultimately leave us feeling unfulfilled. And if you want to find out how to conquer fear, you need to take a different and more proactive approach. Also, as I mentioned, you could actually be tired. So I suggest reframing your life to get good rest, eat good food, do regular exercise, and you'll find that actually just good overall healthy living reduces these feelings or these excuses that often show up and manifest as a form of fear. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself permission to take a break, refocus, make adjustments in your life, and get going again. Number 5, surround yourself with success. One of the guys that I listen to a lot, Tony Robbins, says, proximity is power. And this is also known as the law of attraction, that you become the people that you surround yourself with. That's technically not the whole law of attraction, but it's part of the law of attraction. You become the average of the people you surround yourself with, and that people are contagious. And people who are truly focused on overcoming fear and achieving their dreams surround themselves with other people who have that same mindset. I know myself, I have invested in numerous masterminds, live events, coaching programs, anything I can do for my personal and business growth that helps me face my fears and convert them into success by surrounding myself with other people who get it. And very often, if you aren't proactively working to get into those situations, you'll find that what you're left with is just your normal surroundings. And very often, for most of us, our normal surroundings are not that conducive to success. So you have to put yourself in situations where you're around people who you not only look up to, but who will push you to achieve your goals. And to overcome fear, you have to raise your standards and find other people who will hold you accountable. In fact, that's a big part of why I created the community I'm a part of, EntreNation, because I love seeing people grow themselves both internally and externally, seeing how your internal change ultimately reflects into your outer world, impacts families, impacts businesses, etc. This community is my life's mission. Whether you're watching this right now, let's say the day after I shoot it, or 20 years from now, I intend to still be here on my mission, helping people have a more awesome life. I personally have created an awesome life using these exact strategies, and I've actually created something called an Awesome Life Challenge that you can do to grow in all areas of your life and overcome fears. It's part of EntreNation. There should be a link below if you want to learn more about that. I will put that link down there. My students have had amazing results. They've lost weight, they've generated income, they've built amazing networks, and just generally, transformed all aspects of their life. Number 6, you need to adopt a growth mindset. When you're afraid, you tend to stay in one place. This, fight, flight, or freeze. When you're scared, a lot of times you freeze. Like, what if I make a mistake? What if I fail? Sometimes we start to believe that we can't make progress at all, that we're physically incapable of it. Fear holds us back. And one of the most powerful tips to overcome fear and anxiety is to adopt a growth mindset. It's not about achieving your goals and being perfect every step of the way, because no one is perfect all the time, so there's no point in striving for that. It's about getting comfortable with what we don't know and continuing anyway. That's the foundation of a growth mindset. I'm going to quote Tony Robbins again. He says, no matter how many mistakes you make or how slow your progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. Think about that. It doesn't matter how bad you are. You're trying, which puts you way ahead of most people, honestly. And as you work to overcome fear, you'll realize that there will be lots of trials and tribulations along the way. That's just part of it. And as soon as you've accepted that the path to success includes constant growth and a never-ending requirement for change, you are one step closer to attaining your goals. Number 7, jump into the lion's mouth. And that sounds scary, right? Who would want to jump into a lion's mouth? No one likes pain. Most of us go to great lengths to avoid it. But pain is a profound teacher. And that proverb, that saying, jump into the lion's mouth, means if you can face the thing you're most scared of and do it anyway, then you're actually ready to let that fear go. I've been so scared of so many things, so many times, frankly, in my life. I've been crippled by fear. That's why I'm on such a mission to eradicate it. But many times, if I didn't just jump into the lion's mouth, so to speak, scared as I was, then maybe I wouldn't be where I am today. I would have stayed stuck. And to me, that's even more distasteful than facing the fear. I've failed. I've felt broken many times. I've certainly been terrified. But to the extent that I have success in my life now, it's usually because in those times, I did it anyway. And the result definitely was not always a full-blown success. But by taking the leap, I was always closer to my goals. Every single time, even if I failed, the leap still brought me closer to my goals. And by the way, it feels really good when that lion, that fear, you realize it's not going to kill you. It's not actually a lion. And more importantly, it's not eating you from the inside every single day. That to me is the most liberating feeling of all of facing your fears, is that you start to become a person who isn't owned by it. And that is empowering. When you accept that your life and your efforts to achieve your goals will be painful at times, then painful experiences themselves become opportunities for growth. And you actually, in some kind of bizarre way, start to get excited about pain. And you let it go as a threat to your survival. It then loses its power, and it simply becomes another tool for overcoming fear. So instead of letting pain and fear dictate your decisions, actively choose to learn from those painful moments and get control of your own life. Number 8, visualize your goals. So you've done the mental work. You watched this video. You've identified the real reasons that you're holding yourself back, and you've determined what you must have in this life. But now, overcoming fear requires that you practice these habits every single day so that they lead to true action and true habits of action. You can know your fears. It's actually good to know what they are, but just don't give them power. Give your energy to the things that make you feel good and the things that move you forward, things that move you in the direction of your goals. The solution is not the problem. And goal visualization sets your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. And it can take the form of priming, meditation, or something called imagery training. I encourage you to learn more about that. The important thing is that you see yourself succeeding and you fully immerse yourself in your goal. And after a while, you condition your brain to believe that anything is possible. Anything that is possible in life is possible for you. This is a key step to overcoming fear. And there's a lot of great audios, there's great apps you can download that can support you with goal setting and specifically meditations around goal setting and visualization of your goals. A lot of really powerful stuff. Number 9, accept that you are going to fail. What's the number one fear people have when it comes to accomplishing their goals? They're scared they're going to fail. But like pain, failure is a great teacher. In fact, failure is often a better teacher than success. Certainly in my life, that's been true. And if you accept from the onset that failure is an inevitable part of success, you'll be less afraid of it. Failure can actually provide you with valuable learning experiences that will positively impact all future strategies and decisions. And everyone fails, even the most successful business owners. Thomas Edison said, quote, "I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." See, our society shies away from talking about failure. You go online, you hear all these wild success stories. Our society celebrates success. And that creates the false impression that to be truly successful, you must never fail. But that's actually, the inverse is true. You can't be successful without failing. And part of overcoming fear is recognizing that everyone on the planet, everyone you know and admire, has encountered multiple failures on their path to greatness. And the quicker you realize your fear of failure is preventing you from making the decision to accomplish your dreams, the sooner you'll be able to accept the possibility of failing and just move right on through it. And number 10, use the fear. So now you've learned how to recognize fear and take steps towards facing your fear. And the greatest step, the most powerful step, is to use the fear. It's like what I mentioned with jumping into a lion's mouth. The moment you are feeling fear, step back and ask, where is this coming from? And then ask yourself, where do I want to be? And I promise you, where you want to be is a lot more compelling than wherever the fear is coming from. So then take the leap. The fear can be used as a form of excitement, as a form of energy to catapult you into the next steps. And I use my level of fear inside me to help me achieve my goals every day. It's always terrifying. I don't have a job. I don't get a paycheck. Every day I eat what I kill. And it drives me. Like if I know that it feels scary, something feels scary, and usually the more scary it is, it's because I'm about to take a leap. And I don't just think about taking a leap into a different future. I think of taking a leap, like a quantum leap, into a better version of myself. I'm what changes. It's not my circumstance that change. I'm what changes. And whenever I'm scared, it's usually because I'm about to change for the better. See, how you respond to fear is what sets you apart from the rest of the crowd. Facing fear, that's the inner work, the hard work that no one sees, that gives you the power to shine and to beam out to the outside world. And I truly do hope, after watching this video, that you can allow fear to become a catalyst for your success. Thanks for watching, and I'll invite you to click the button to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the bell to get notified of new upcoming videos. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button for me. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.